Welcome back to Capitol Review. I'm Tosin Fakile in for Mark Hall this week. President Donald Trump signed several agreements with Saudi Arabia. He's in the Middle East on the first major foreign trip of his second term. But Democrats say President Trump is using the trip to enrich himself. Republicans and Democrats have urged President Trump to reconsider a gift from the government of Qatar, a $400 million jet to replace the nearly 40-year-old planes serving as Air Force One. President Trump said on Monday a free gift is a no-brainer. The White House says President Trump is following all of the laws regarding foreign gifts. The president says the airplane would be a gift to the Defense Department, then to his presidential library after he leaves office. And returning to Capitol Review is Dr. Todd Belt. He leads George Washington University's political management program. Dr. Belt, thank you for joining us.
Thanks. Great to be with you again. Thanks for having me on.
All right, so this is a very interesting place that we are at. How messy could this get for President Donald Trump and his administration?
Well, it's already getting messy. Even some Republicans are coming out and wondering, you know, what is this deal and does it look really good? And what would we say if Biden had done it? I mean, obviously, this is an excessive gift in excess of $400 million. And you have to wonder, is this deal on the square and on the level, or do the Qataris want something in return for it?
And you had mentioned some Republicans speaking out about it. It does seem that lawmakers from both sides of the aisle don't want him to accept this gift. Speak about that.
No, they don't, because there is the perception of impropriety here. Even if there's not necessarily a quid pro quo specifically, it looks bad. There are no specific conflict of interest regulations on the president other than the emoluments clause of the Constitution. So presidents in the past have just tried to avoid perceptions of conflicts of interest. That's why we've seen them put their investments in blind trusts and such. But this president doesn't seem to care about that as much.
It is $400 million. How legal is this gift for President Donald Trump?
Well, it's not a legal gift for Donald Trump. Presidents are only allowed to take gifts up to about $400 and keep those. The rest of them belong to we the people. And so that's why his administration is saying this is a gift to the U.S. Air Force, and therefore afterwards it's going to go to his library. This is what happens with gifts over that $400 mark, is they're allowed to go to the library that belong to we the people. And if you go to any of these presidential libraries, you'll see a lot of these gifts that have been given by foreign leaders to the president when he travels there, including, you know, lots of different belt buckles and things that were given to President Reagan, which, by the way, if you go to his library, you'll see his old 707 airplane there.
What kind of impact the president went over to the Middle East? What kind of impact is happening with the president's trip to the Middle East?
Right. Well, this big trip was supposed to be about deals, about Donald Trump trying to secure new military deals with other nations in the Gulf area to sell equipment to them, but also to deal with these tariff issues and try to get new deals that he can come back to the United States people and say, look, these tariffs are working and I've forced people into these new deals. But it's really getting off the rails here, and the narrative is more about what about this plane instead of the deals he's bringing back. So it's really sort of taking it away from him.
And speaking of this plane, it's supposed to possibly replace Air Force One. It's going to be expensive to kind of turn this new jet into the Air Force One.
Well, that's exactly right. This jet is not equipped the way that the 747s that are built by Boeing are built to be. It has to withstand a nuclear attack, it has to have electronic countermeasures and to evade missiles, and it has to operate as a platform for coordinating all of our military in case of an attack. And this Qatar Jet doesn't have any of those things. And people also know that it needs to be swept for bugs or any sort of surveillance equipment as well. So there's going to be a lot of work that needs to go into it.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how all of this plays out. Dr. Todd Belt, thank you for your time and thank you for joining us.
Thanks. Great to be with you.